Even more conflict in Pyro, this time at Rough Landings, Terminus.
A small skirmish broke out involving Red Kingdom's 3rd Fleet, the Daystar Vanguard. Initial reports indicate the warrior squadron was ambushed during routine operations, receiving casualties. The elite squadrons, Lions and Phoenix, were sent for support. The Red King is expected to speak on the matter.
Engines roar with the fiery light through the cosmos in endless flight. Daystar's fleet carves paths unknown, building a home where stars have shone. Through the void they sail.
We go live to the Royal Office. Red King 1337 has just arrived.
Good afternoon. I'm Red King 1237, and I will be giving you a play-by-play of the after actions report of the firefight that happened on Terminus in the Pyro system. Daystar Vanguard forces were engaged in PvP combat with an unknown fire team. I will be putting a graphics overlay on screen, and I will be narrating the combat play-by-play. We also have an interview from a Phoenix Overwatch sniper whose identity has been redacted.
The Daystar Vanguard, Red Kingdom's 3rd Fleet, is an all-around organization here in Star Citizen. We are an industrial core surrounded by a militaristic shell. With that said, there are several squads that fit the combat styles of our members under the Red Kingdom flag. First, allow me to introduce the squadrons that were involved in the conflict. First up, we have Warrior Squad, which is a casual play style, usually focused around PvE with some light PvP. Next up, we have the Wolves or Wolf Pack. They are a casual sniper-based squad. Next up, we have Lion Squadron. The Lions are the hardcore versions of the Warriors. They take PvP very seriously. And lastly, we have the Phoenix Overwatch, which is the hardcore variant of the Wolf Pack. The Phoenix is another sniper-oriented squadron that is focused around hardcore PvP. The events unfolded as such. Around this location here is where the outpost is situated. The warriors arrived on scene, fielding the Crimson Connie, and set down just southeast of the outpost in a crater about here. The count was 2 warrior squad and 1 wolf. The Vanguard approached the outpost to complete their mission. As the wolves advanced for the tower, they were taken out by one of 3 fecal fighter positions. Under heavy fire, the warriors had no choice but to retreat. The Wolfpack member was incapacitated and was unable to be retrieved. While we were receiving reports and arranging for reinforcements, we sent an A1 bomber to deal with the situation and help alleviate some of the stress off of the defending warriors. The A1 is a small to medium bomber, capable of taking out small ground targets. In this dashcam footage, you could see the Crimson Connie off to the right there. We also identified about 3 additional fecal fighters that were amassing near an anti-air gun. This would limit the amount of airtime the A1 has in the vicinity. The pilot was able to drop its bombs, spotting a hostile Connie off in the distance. 1 bomb landed on target, effectively eliminating 3 fecal fighters. By this time, the Lion squads were aboard the Carrack and were en route for rescue operations. They arrived and landed just opposite the Crimson Connie. The Lions wasted no time to link up with the Warriors. Now, the Warriors and the Wolves had light Imperial Guards with a Dragoon heavy soldier loadout, which is standard Daystar Vanguard PvE armor. However, the Lions as well as the Phoenix had the Daystar Vanguard PvP armor, which is a mix of heavy and medium, with the Mozilla chest being maroon if they're an officer. The Lions split up, countering their advance, effectively cornering them in the town. At this point, the pressure was alleviated, however, they were not out of the woods yet. The NPCs have respawned and were taking over the town, with the fecal fighters now cornered in the back of the town, taking up defensive positions. They had one fighter up on the tower, providing overwatch, and effectively halting any attempts to pick up the downed member. So that's when I reached out to the Phoenix, and we had two Phoenix Overwatch snipers prepped for launch.
Well, now, when King reached out to me on the Discord about hopping on as Star Citizen, I was not a fan at the time. I haven't been on much lately, but then something he said stood out to me. He said, "Let's dress to unimpress." And well, now if I know King, I know the dress to unimpress. I have to sign on for that. So that's what I did. I hopped on. And I met him at the hangar bay, and lo and behold, there's King standing next to a Red King 1237, standing there next to the open cargo bay of a vulture. A yellow vulture, not even a red one. And, yeah, I knew immediately. I had my Artemis hood and the rest of the PvP gear on, and we're going in. That's when I knew that it's going to be real today.
Phoenix arrived on scene with orders to look like they were salvaging. The dress to unimpress is a now declassified maneuver, and since there was multiple wreck sites in the area, it was not uncommon to see a vulture snooping about.
After looping over the battlefield, some pot shots were taken at the ship, but it was very minor. We floated around some of the wreck sites, did a little salvaging, but definitely maintaining a visual on the combat zone. And they were now pushed squarely in the back of the town. The Lions did a fantastic job mopping up on the NPCs. So realistically, we just had to take those players out. And once they saw that we were focused solely on salvaging those ships, we put down with our cargo bay back away from the action zone. And me and another Phoenix got out, and we took up on two positions on the hill on the ridgeline in the back there. I believe it was west from the approach site, if you're at the Carrick. And yeah, we took out the sniper first. That was number one priority. And after that, my partner took down another one. They incapped. He finished off that other one. I was on the ground for sure. Then the Lions just came in, and it was easy day. It was easy work. Once the Wolf member was already revived, and the Warriors had taken care of that, and it was easy pickings up from that point on. The Lions just walked in. It was no contest for them.
Thank you. And as you saw in the graphics, the Warriors did split their party into two. One went back to the Crimson Connie to retrieve the medevac unit, and they topped off while the Lions cleaned out the rest of the town of all hostile players as well as hostile NPCs, if any were remaining. We did destroy and salvage every vehicle in the area and then scavenge all the bodies worth of any loot. And that concludes the briefing. No questions, please. No questions.
Like a sun in the skies. Vanguard shines like a sun in the skies.